We all are vulnerable to social media approval. Yes, we do really care what other people think of us. The terrifying reality is that almost every company exploits the deeply rooted reward system. There are millions of experts specifically designing their products and their platform to release as much as dopamine as possible in order to make us come over and over again. And when we get a dopamine hit by any activity, then it's become addictive. It's really addictive. Our brain is completely hijacked by our hormones. Let's try to understand it.
Cruel social media remarks. Facebook comments have been pouring in after 4 people died while hiking.
You're dealing with an addicted generation.
This is a big time bomb ticking.
These kids who commit suicide, you go look at their Instagrams, you would have no clue.
Mr. Zuckerberg, would you be comfortable sharing with us the name of the hotel you stayed in last night?
No.
People who spend more time on Facebook suffer higher rates of depression than people who spend less time on Facebook. It'll destroy relationships, it'll cost time, and it'll cost money, and it'll make your life worse.
But one of the issues with social media, it's been pointed out by many people, is that I think maybe particularly Instagram, people look like they have a much better life than they really do.
It is difficult to believe, but we live in a world which is designed to stimulate our emotion in order to maximize profits. As soon as we get dopamine from one source, then our brain just rewires and we have this impulsive behavior where we don't even think about it and it will do away just right automatically, and then we are hooked. We are really hooked. But have you ever think, why don't we get addicted to other things? Why do we only get addicted to drugs and alcohols and social media? The answer is availability and the quick reward system. Let's try to understand this.
In the last 5 years or so, there's been a trend in Silicon Valley tech executives to do a dopamine fast. Dopamine is a chemical that we make in our brains. It is essential to the experience of pleasure, reward, and motivation.
We know that social media engineers are quite literally putting as much dopaminergic stimulation into their products as possible.
In every emotion in our body, certain hormone is responsible. So for pleasure, dopamine hormone is responsible. Dopamine works as a neurotransmitter. I know you might be wondering what is neurotransmitter. Our brain is made of different kind of cells, which is called neurocells. And the neurons, more than 1 billion neurons are present in our brain. So there is electromagnetic signals by which they transmit signal to other neurons. But all neurons doesn't secrete dopamine. There are certain neurons which secrete dopamine, and they only secrete dopamine when they become active. And these neurons active when something good is about to happen. And when we expect something good to happen. Social media itself is not only responsible for making you feel good, but it's only a trigger that releases massive amount of dopamine into your brain. And these highly qualified engineers exactly know about this. Let's try to understand through the example. When we get something easily, you might can get addicted, but earning money and prestige takes a lot of efforts and time and patience. But here is the exception. You can addicted to earning money when there is a quick reward system. This is the same applies with the gambling. In the gambling you get speedy reward and it's easily accessibility too. That is the main reason why all money making apps are highly addictive. Yes, we have to accept that we have an addictive generation who don't have the courage to ask help for. The dark reality is these apps are more vulnerable for those people who are already feeling low and alone. That's not by an accident, that's by their design technique. But I want people to know that everything you are doing online is being watched, is being tracked and recorded. Every single action you take is carefully monitored. Most of people just think Google is just a search box and Facebook is just a place to see what your friends are doing. But they don't realize the entire team of engineers whose job is to use your psychology against you. Data is the new oil for these companies. In 2016, Facebook and Cambridge Analytica data probe was used in Donald Trump election campaign. In brief, it is alleged that these big companies monopolize and influence the behavior of voters in 2016 presidential election campaign and helping to the leave side of Brexit referendum. The social media platform have an immense impact in our day-to-day life. Some people almost become slave to this system. It is just a superficial dilemma. The actual truth is hidden from us. People are posting pictures of them when they are really happy. They also modify those pictures to better looking than they basically are. And when we see everyone on Instagram or Facebook, we might think all these beautiful people and we feel ourselves that we are not good looking. And we start comparing ourselves to other people. And that moment we start disgusting ourselves and we are sucked.
My name is Ricky Schlott and I was 11 years old when I joined Instagram. I was constantly checking, and I would say that probably over the span of a day it was 3-4 hours that I poured into these apps.
When I was younger, I didn't really care as much about what people thought of me and my Instagram account, but now I feel like that kind of affects me a little bit more.
When you're like feeling at your worst and then you go on Instagram and you see like models, influencers, celebrities, things like that, and you're just like, oh, well, I'll never be like that.
But this is not the reality. Some of the happiest seeming people are actually some of the saddest people in reality. According to the World Happiness Report, which is published by UNST, says that nearly 1 billion people live with a mental disorder, and 75% of people with a disorder do not receive treatment. And in every 40 seconds, a person dies by suicide. And almost 50% mental health disorders starts from the age of 14. And also, according to the mental health experts, these consequences can be linked with the social media. But this was not at that extent until Jio came to field. In 15 September 2016, Reliance Jio brought an internet revolution in India, attracted millions of customers through services and high-speed internet. And after launching Jio, within the 6 months of India became the top mobile user in the world. Before Jio, India as per month data consumption was around 200 million GB. And after coming Jio, this was around 1 billion GB. Mobile data is available in India at the cheapest rate all over the world. According to the BBC reports, which is around 1 GB mobile data costs 20 rupees in India, which is compared to the $12.30 in USA and $6.66 in UK respectively. These cheap plans and easy accessibility, which works as a catalyst to be in the clutches of social media platform. I just want to make you think that when you spend a quality time with your family, apart from all these virtual webs to the reality, being sat together and talk and laugh. If I talk about myself, I didn't remember. Now the question arises, how we can detach from social media? If you want to hear the truth, then I would say we cannot. Because it kind of become an integral part of life. But in my opinion, the most relevant way is what I consider is willpower. We have to understand our willpower, because where there is a will, there is a way. Perhaps tomorrow, if not today.